What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at automation inside Ableton and how powerful it can really be. So if you're ready for this one, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, and the best part about this is we're going to be using stock plugins, so anybody can use this stuff. So let's jump right into this now. Alright, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put an auto filter onto our melody here, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut out some of the highs here and bring them back in right as the melody comes in and it hits. So I'm thinking we start about halfway since we got a little bit of a long intro here, and what we're going to do is we're going to automate this. So we're going to automate the frequency right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find that by going to the auto filter and going to the frequency. Boom. Okay, so now this line right here is representing where the frequency's at. So a really cool thing about Ableton is if you right click here, it actually gives you a bunch of different shapes that you can just insert when you're doing it. So we could just put one of these shapes in, for example, and go from there. So let's try something like that. Alright, so you'll notice that it didn't really put it in the right spot. So what we can do instead here, is let's press this little plus button up here. So it's going to give us a new lane to put this automation in. That way we're not accidentally copying this below. We're just going to copy that and duplicate it over. Okay, so now we can just delete this. Alright, so we have a little bit of a curve going on here, but we might want to make it a little bigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to draw it back a little bit. And let's start to see how this is going to sound here. You can see down here it's actually automating it as we go. So it fades it out, it cuts out those highs, and it really just makes the drop that much more insane. So we could play with this a little bit more. Maybe we make this curve a little more drastic so it happens a little quicker. Or we can make it so it happens a little bit slower. Maybe we even go at an incline like that. But I think if it was a little bit quicker, it might sound better. So let's do that. Alright, so that's just one thing that we can modulate. We can modulate all the effects and all the plugins that Ableton has to offer, and even any of the VSTs that you may have downloaded as well. Usually everything can be modulated just by using these lines in here. So another thing that I'm thinking we can do is we'll probably put this on the whole master. I'll put it on my pre-master, and what I'm thinking about doing is putting a little vocoder maybe for the first section of the drop here, just so that it sounds like it's really distant and far away and not really all there, and then it comes in maybe when the second kick hits or something like that. So let's play with that a little bit. So I'm gonna click on my pre-master. You could also just put this on your master. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the settings right before we go ahead and start playing with this. So let's just play with the vocoder and see what sounds good. So always put this enhance on. It's just gonna make it sound a little better, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a modulator type of deal here. All right, and then we're gonna play with the formats. So you can see when we turn the format to the right, it's going to leave more of the highs, and when we turn it to the left, it's going to take out those highs and put in the bass. So let's see what sounds better in this case. Alright, I think if we keep the formats up all the way, it's going to sound really good. So let's do that. Alright, that sounds kind of cool to me. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to modulate the dry wet knob, and I might actually take out the kick because the kick seems to be just going crazy on it. So I think I'm going to do here is take out these first two, and then we'll probably have it come in right when this next kick hits. So let's go ahead and start modulating this now. So at this point we want it to be turned all the way down, so we're going to do something like that. And maybe we'll have it come in really quick like this. So let's see. Alright, I think we actually need to move it so it's a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and drag this over maybe to this section, I'm thinking. I think that's going to work a little bit better for us. So let's try that out now. Okay, one thing I think I'm going to do here is try to put this on the drums instead of the whole thing, so that we still hear the melodies how they are and everything like that. So we're just going to copy this automation clip down to our drums. Alright, let's get rid of the vocoder on our pre-master, and maybe this will sound a little better. Awesome. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put these back in here. Alright, so just tweaking these settings a little bit to making it come a lot better. So I'm actually going to make this a little sharper now since we're just doing the drums. See how that sounds. Alright, let's listen to this again. Alright, awesome. So you can see how just a little bit of automation like that can completely change up the game for you. It can make your melodies more interesting. It can make your drums come in at a random point and slap even harder. And what this is doing is kind of tricking the listener. They're going to think that the drums are going to come in right away, and then they're going to hear that they're off in the background, kind of distorted, and you can't really hear them. And then all of a sudden they come back in, they're going to be like, oh, hell yeah, there they are. So just doing a little bit of automation with these different plugins can get you really far in your beats. So definitely try using these out. But go ahead and try that out and let me know how that goes. But anyways, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, bro, because we're uploading daily tutorials and you're not going to want to miss them. But besides that, I'll be catching you again in the next one. Peace out.